Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my co-host, Rachna. How are you this Wednesday, early afternoon?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm just realizing that I might have a crack on right now, so I'm just going to switch that. I'm great. I can't believe that we're in the fourth month. Like, April's almost halfway done. Yesterday was my niece and nephew's birthday. It was also the
Yeah.
luckiest day of the year, considerably. So apparently, so what was in conjunction was Neptune and Jupiter. So Neptune is the planet of like dreams and like, anyways, planet of dreams. And then Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion. And so they were both conjunct. So that means they're kind of acting together with the same energy in 24 degrees. And so it's going to have that energy for the next 4 days or so. And this
Nice.
conjunction hasn't happened since in the 1800s. So we will never see this conjunction again in our lifetime, but it really promotes good luck with expanding your dreams. So I thought it
Oh,
was fitting that I was working on that incubator that I got into yesterday. It
yeah.
started. So yeah, I'm in good spirits.
That's amazing.
Did you have any luck of your dreams yesterday? And it's up until Friday. It'll be that energy.
Yeah, there's been a drastic change in my wine training situation, which I won't go into detail here, but I ended up dropping out of a program quite suddenly, but I think it's a good thing. That's why I did it. Like I think I'm going to get more out of it by not being in the program.
Oh, okay. Wow, I can't wait to hear what that means for you. But I also can't wait to hear what your overall thoughts of this episode was.
Um, I mean, it was entertaining. I think it's been the most entertaining episode we've seen, and there were no like nonsense flashback filler moments, like repetition. There wasn't any repetition. Nothing felt like filler. Um, and there were like a few twists and turns, like a few interesting moments.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Um, just to spoil it a little bit, at the end of this episode, I actually was in shock. Like I was
Oh,
like
really?
I mean, obviously I know these kind of situations can happen. It's happened, they've happened before. I just wasn't expecting it to go to that level. And so I was a little bit shocked like that we got there. And entertained, unfortunately. I was entertained by it.
Were you shocked because you didn't think Teresa had it in her anymore, or like what part shocks you?
The fact that they were like that they were in, they're not even in their own state, you know what I mean? Like the fact that they're on vacation, they're adults, they have like this big table, and she was choosing to like knock all the drinks and stuff like that all over her white dress. I was just like, and I was
Fair.
also shocked by I mean, I really like that Marge doesn't like is not scared of Teresa too. Like I was just surprised, and like just watching all the people around them being like
Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
so like that was, it was just like I can't imagine ever creating such a scene. Like I just couldn't.
But if you were on a reality show where that has worked for you in the past, would you not be tempted to do it again?
I mean, I just don't know if I'd be tempted the first time, right? So it's so far from me on how, I mean, I can understand me being mad and wanting to flip a table, maybe.
I
I
mean,
just
let's be honest. You as a black woman wouldn't get away with it the way Teresa does. Let's
I'd be
talk
in
about that
jail.
first.
I'd be in
First of all,
jail.
yeah, like
Maybe that's also where my shock comes from.
yeah, Teresa gets away with it because she's not a person of
Like
color.
why she wasn't thrown out of the bar is shocking. Anyways, we're gonna
Yeah,
get more into that. Let's
yeah,
get through this episode so we can get
yeah,
there and just talk about that for 20 minutes. It is finally moving day. I know you haven't really been that excited around this whole
yeah.
moving storyline. We're finally here. I got a little bit teary eyed.
Well, I did too, actually. Yeah, I thought it was quite moving, and I was like, finally, there's like, the moving scene is moving, and it's also moving forward.
Yes, it's moving forward, and we might as well just like finish through with this storyline.
Yeah.
And so they get to the new house, and it's a lot bigger. Obviously, they need to have a lot of rooms. Teresa has 4 children. Louis has 2 sons, one that lives with him, and so they're going to need quite a few rooms. So it's a huge house, and so they're kind of going around and they're showing everybody their rooms that they're going to be in, and her daughters are seemingly really happy. And I also got a little bit teary eyed when Louis had a gift for Teresa, and it's that he had in the stone outside. It was siempre insieme, which means always together, which is something that her parents, I believe, had said. And so I thought that was a really touching piece to make them feel at home and have a little bit of a connection with their family, which is one of the reasons why they were apprehensive about moving.
Yeah, I thought that was it was an impactful moment, and I think all 5 of them felt like really welcomed by Louis, and I think that he made an effort, and I like that.
Definitely made an effort, and I thought his son was so polite. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like a very nice young man, it seems. And
Yeah.
so, um, I like I totally understand where the kids are coming from with like their dad and like moving on and all that stuff, and it's their family home and they've grown up there. But I thought it was a welcoming new beginning for them, and so
Yeah.
I'm for it. Definitely for it. And Gia is also really happy to see her mom so happy. And I think that that's also something that is just, regardless, like we speculated a little bit of like what Louis may or may not have been doing. And maybe he is a control person and like, like he might be all the bad things that, Margaret thinks that he could be. But the proof is in the pudding, right? Right now he's making her happy,
Mhm.
and we kind of have to allow people to have a past, allow people to have made mistakes, and allow people to potentially have grown from them. And
Yeah, I
so
agree.
I'm happy for Teresa. She is really happy. And but then we're gonna get to what happens later shortly. So a few nonsensical scenes at Evan and Jackie's place. Their daughter's gonna go help him clean the grill for 30 seconds. She does it for 1 second. Some slam dunks are happening. Whose house was that? I don't remember. Oh, I think it was at Jennifer's house. Slam dunks with her son, maybe. Anyways,
I don't think
I
I caught that.
you what?
I don't think I caught that.
Oh, it was honestly just like a one
In
second,
passing?
like
Yeah,
a little
okay.
snippet of
Yeah.
like playing, like just little scenes. I did like this scene. Tell me if you caught it though, when Frank Sr. is like moving into the house and Frankie goes
Mhm.
and gets his clothes or whatever. And they see like some double-breasted green suit that Dolores wants him to throw away, and he's like, "No, it's going to be coming back into style." It's like a suit from 1994, and we get a lovely flashback of Frank in the 90s or maybe even the 80s. He doesn't even look like the same human being.
Yeah. Do you think he looks as good as we think Dolores looked back then?
I mean, knowing that they're a couple back then is hilarious to me because like they're such caricatures. Um so yes, I think so. Just because like he's still a big guy, but he's kind of like more nerdy.
Mhm.
Like he looks
Mhm.
like an insurance guy or like car salesman. Like he just doesn't not that he looks cool now, but like he's just so super buff guy now, and it's a different vibe from him. So
Yeah.
back then he looks a little bit more, I don't know if nerdy is the word, but just a little cheesier. I don't know. But yes, I think that his
Excuse me.
full, bless you, mustache is like on fleek.
Yeah.
Like, give me the Tom Selleck mustache, please, Frank. I think you need that back again. Throw away the suit, come back with the mustache. I'm interested in that.
Very of the time.
Love it. Hi, Diva. Thanks for being
Hi,
here.
Diva.
So in the room though, so they're moving him into the room. That bedroom is quite small for, I would think, for an adult
From male.
male. But then there's a chinchilla in there that their daughter built the cage in there, so they can't even take the cage out of the room. Where did the chinchilla come from?
I don't know what the I don't know the background on that.
Me neither. They obviously talk more about like no having women in the house, blah blah blah, which is expected because like it's just a
They've
little
already
bit
talked
weird.
about it. Yeah.
Yes. And then we hear Dolores talking about how they're going to be going to Nashville, that they've arranged a big house in Nashville, and Tracy's realtor helped them find a place for them. So all the couples are going to be going to Nashville, which you have endorsed and given a nice big thumbs up.
Yeah, although my trips to Nashville were very different to their trip to Nashville. Like I didn't do all the touristy things that they're doing.
I mean, I think I'd want to do the touristy things if I went to Nashville, just
That's fair.
because, why not? I mean, I would love to go do the touristy things and then do like find a local and do some like really cool things.
Yeah.
Okay, Teresa and Gia did a memories chat. We talked about that pretty much already. And one thing that Teresa does say though is that, your kids feed off your energy, and I think that is really true. And not that Teresa was unhappy in that house, but she was unhappy in that marriage. And so I think it is very positive to show children that you don't need to stay in something where you're unhappy for the kids or whatnot, and that just because you have children doesn't mean you stop chasing your happiness. So I thought that it was a good message that Teresa was giving. So they drive to the new house. Jackie in that moment was calling Teresa, seeing if she's willing to, if she's going to go to Nashville. And Jackie is kind of a meddler, but then doesn't want to stay in the meddle. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
It actually pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like she has so much yap and opinions about things, and like she will pump the other person up to get them like her little bulldog to go out and snap at Teresa and then complain about it after. And I'm just like, it's just a little bit immature.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on. Oh, Siva says used to be 45 minutes from Nashville. It's really nice. I definitely want to check it out. It's definitely would be on my list of places to go. I like any reason to wear an outfit. So if I have a reason to wear a cowboy hat and some cowboy boots, I'm here for it. I'd play it. I'd play the role. So everybody, we see scenes of everybody packing from Nashville. Jackie is worried though that there might be fighting and like if everybody's in the house, and I'm like, well, I just wish I mean, I guess we wouldn't get the end of this episode if these women were rational and normal and dealt with conflict like we would. But
also, which in the history of the Housewives, which trip has not had a fight? Like, isn't that the whole point of the trips, is to just provide different scenery for another moment of tension or something? Like, tell me I'm wrong, but is there a trip that you can recall where there was not some kind of fight or making up after a fight?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the formula. It's like fight, resolve, not really resolved, fight, not really. It's just like they never really resolve these fights.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter how big that house is. Like, when the ladies of Salt Lake City went to Zion, like I feel like that house was also massive, and they managed to fight for days on end. So, if you want no fighting, then stay in separate houses and have different trips, is what I think.
Yes, and I don't think that is ideal for the producers. So fighting will ensue.
Exactly, which is good for the entertainment value.
So Margaret thinks that there's nothing wrong with being concerned for a friend. So what do you think about this? Like, I agree. If you're concerned for your friend, we've talked about it before, doing a little bit of digging just to see if there's any truth before you bring any information to a friend. I see nothing wrong necessarily in that. But do you think that that's what Margaret's actually doing?
Look, if that's what Margaret was doing, it would have been one conversation. It would have happened privately between the two of them, not in a group setting, and it wouldn't happen every episode. Margaret is, I think, fighting for her position in next season.
Fair.
And
She
she's trying to keep
is.
herself relevant because what else, she, okay, the Hungarian party, fine, but what else has
Good.
she had going on? She went after Jennifer. Now she's going after Teresa. What else has she got going on for herself in this season?
Yeah, I mean, being part of this episode, definitely I would say really stamps her in for next season.
Does it?
I think so. I mean, she's able to hold her own. That moment wouldn't have happened if Margaret wasn't involved in the season. And I mean, maybe something else would have evolved, but
Yeah.
would it have been as electric? I don't know.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
obviously Teresa was complaining to Louis about Margaret, so we know that what the plot point is going to be for this Nashville trip. And then we hear Jackie say to Evan, "Margaret's my best friend." Did we know this?
I didn't know that either, actually.
Margaret's my best friend. And so it's and Jackie feels attacked basically because like it seems like Teresa and Jen are only coming for her best friends, her people, or her, and she's playing a little bit of the victim in my opinion. But
I agree.
best friend, I was like, I didn't know that they're besties. Obviously Melissa is annoyed that that Teresa doesn't get along with her good friends, which I understand that annoyance because I do see that they're better friends than Jackie and Margaret. But Melissa, I mean, I liked her on the clip that you sent me of lip sync battle.
Yeah.
I like that. But
Yeah, I
like
like that too.
I don't like her on this show.
I didn't dislike her as much in today's episode, but I think in general she doesn't really bring much to the show.
Yeah. I guess I also don't love Joe, so it's just kind of like that's who you chose to live your life with. I'm
Yeah.
like, woo, not my pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so I really liked seeing them on the airplane and at the airport. I do like, I guess I miss traveling. I miss that whole vibe of like it's exciting going somewhere new or traveling. And so I love seeing the scene. But then Margaret does say hi to Teresa at the airport, and I was like, Teresa responded. They're like, hi. Awkward.
I mean,
Awkward.
I feel like it's better to have an awkward hi than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said hi for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like not saying hi would just like make it really start to bubble underneath the surface.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of Sprinter vans. Melissa doesn't know what state Nashville is. I'm like, I'm not even American and I know it's Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, Melissa. Come on. So the house is huge. So Margaret actually knows the realtor, Chris, and they were doing a lot of lifestyle morning shows, like that circuit scene at the same time, I guess about maybe 10, 15 years ago. I didn't really know this about Margaret. Do you recognize Margaret from the morning scene?
Not at all. I had no idea that Margaret had a history of being on television or that she was a lifestyle person.
Which also makes me think that she's stamped in the franchise because she probably has a bit of a fan base, right?
Well, I mean, I was reading comments on Twitter last night of the clip of the moment where the moment of drama, the height of the drama, and a lot of people love Margaret. Like a lot of people think she's the show's saving grace.
A lot of people do love Margaret. I'm not sure if she's the show's saving grace, but she's willing to go toe to toe and not be scared, right?
Yeah,
so
no one else is. So
I'd rather Margaret over Jackie if I had to choose. You know what I mean? I'd rather Margaret over Melissa if I had to choose. I think I'd rather Margaret over most people, to be fair.
I mean, I think it would be entertaining for Melissa to go up against Teresa. Like that would be more entertaining to me because they're related, I think. If Melissa had it in her, which we know she doesn't.
She's bland for me. So they go to the Nashville Underground, or that's where they're going to be going, and they're going to ride the mechanical bull. So you did not get to experience that bar restaurant?
No, so actually, the first time I went to Nashville, I went to the Strip, which is where that bar is. Like I went from the airport to my place I was staying, dropped my stuff, went straight to the Strip, and I was there for 3 minutes, and then I left because I almost had a panic attack because it is, and I was there at like noon.
Too many
It
people?
was, sorry,
Too many people?
too many people, too many lights, too much noise. I was like, this is not for me, and I left right away. The next time I went to Nashville, I knew there was this one bar that I wanted to go to because they have a good daytime like live set, and it was almost empty. I think it was me and like 3 older couples, and the music was very good. So I just went only to that bar, and then I left. And it was also like at around 1 or 2, and it was far more manageable experience the second time. But no, I did not go to the Nashville Underground. Like a lot of those places are just large, and I don't think I like large places in general. Like they're not my vibe. So yeah.
Um, I don't know if I care for large places, but I love anything that's kind of tacky. So I don't know. Have you been
Okay.
to Vancouver?
I have.
Have you ever been to the Roxy?
No, what's the Roxy?
Roxy's just like an institution over there, but it's like a mega club that has like a live band playing cover songs every day,
Oh wow.
and it's just like the carpeting. You know what I mean? It's just like it's terrible,
Where
but
is
it's
it?
just
Is it
fun.
downtown Vancouver?
Yeah, I can't remember where it is right now. On Pender, maybe? No, is that where it is? Where's the Roxy? It's just like people are like, "Oh my god, you like the Roxy?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's so seedy. It's so
Yeah.
like where the people go and like you leave cross-eyed because you're wasted and you go home with some random person. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like one of
Yeah.
those like
Yeah.
really seedy but like fun bars.
Okay.
And so anyways, I'd probably want to find out those kind of places. Where's
Yeah, I think anywhere along the strip you're gonna get one of those. It's
Granville?
just like, yeah, they're all like basically every place along the strip is like that. It's just like which celebrity owned one are you gonna go to?
That's kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, I just like sometimes gaudy and tacky
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like Vegas.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean Nashville is, you know, on par with Vegas, just not casinos.
Well, this episode is called Nightmare in Nash Vegas.
Yeah.
So I guess they're seeing the similarities to Vegas and Nashville. Obviously, I haven't been to Nashville, so I can't make the comparison, but I've been to Vegas many a times, and it is my type of tacky. Give me a tacky strip club, please.
Yeah.
So good. So good. It's so tacky. Um, I actually want to go back to Vegas. I don't know if I told you, but me and my best friend are thinking of planning a trip to go see like Thunder Down Under or like
Oh, really?
or no, sorry, the Magic Mike show.
Amazing. I
Right?
actually also do want to go to Vegas.
It's tacky. I have some good Vegas stories
Yeah,
when I've been in the
I
past.
went when I went when I was like 15, but I went with my grandparents and their cousins. So I would like to go as an adult.
Yes, I mean I've definitely my dad obviously lives there, so
Mhm.
and when I was still like under 30, we'll say, I used to go every Christmas and
Mhm.
summer, so I've been a gazillion times.
I'll have to ask
Um,
you for your
I mean, I don't know if I have any advice at this point. Haven't probably
well,
been
I
in
mean,
like 5 years or so,
there.
7 years. And things have changed, but stay on the strip. Like stay on the strip, gamble, you anyways, I'll tell another story another
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
pretty messy. So, what did you think about Teresa wanting to have the master in this house?
I mean, come on, that was predictable. We knew that was going to happen. At this point, like why even fight it? Like does it matter if your room is like mega big versus big? Like, I don't, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care about having the master. I'd be
Yeah,
like, I'd probably find like the gem of the room, you know what I mean? Like, or like one
yeah,
that has like a walkout patio or something like that, that like
exactly.
people didn't notice, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Or like the quietest one or something that was like not, I wouldn't want to be on the ground floor, which is where the master was, I think. Um, yeah, I mean, I think Dolores handled that really well. She knew Teresa was going to want the biggest room, and she, had an excuse for why Teresa should get the biggest room, which I feel like dampened everyone else's kind of uproar. So I thought Dolores was smart.
And also, like, Teresa is kind of the star of the show, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I get it not be like being annoyed by the fact that it's not you that automatically gets the master, but like I don't know, I would just expect it as you would as well. It's
Yeah.
kind of like I would expect Heather Dubrow. I know you're not a fan, but like to get the master, right?
Well, I think with Heather, she's far too concerned with being polite and a good host. So she would never demand it the way Teresa
True.
did. And,
That's true.
that's why I like Teresa more than I like Heather Dubrow.
So would you put names in a hat though to decide this, or would you? Yeah, you said you just would allow her to have it.
Yeah, I would just like, you know, I would just be like, yeah, like Teresa, you do what you want, and then everyone else just figures it out.
Yeah, I mean, I like the name in the hat thing. It's kind of like fun. It's like, ooh, where am I going to sleep tonight? So
Yeah.
I'm all for. I say yes to most things. I'm pretty easygoing, so I wouldn't put up a fight with Teresa. Like you live with him, so who cares? And I'd probably put a name in the hat for fun's sake. So
Yeah.
that's probably what I would do. But the guys do not care about the arguments that the women are having. So they go outside. There is a trampoline, in ground trampoline, which I've never seen before. But I don't know, it still seems dangerous. um,
Yeah.
just, yeah. But Tiki Barber is super athletic. And I feel like Joe really resents Tiki a bit because Tiki just seems to be good at everything athletic better than Joe is. And we will get another showing of that later on this episode. But it's like at the baseball game, Tiki was like the superstar, the MVP, and then Tiki goes out there on the trampoline. He does a backflip, and he lands it. I
I haven't
think that
noticed Joe's resentment towards him though.
see, I'm just wondering if it's brewing because Joe
Interesting.
likes to be the center of attention, right?
Yeah,
Like he
he
likes
does.
to be
True.
the male star of the show. He
Yeah.
likes to have everything revolve around him. He wants to be the best athlete. He's always talking about his dick size. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he wants to be in the center of it all. So I, it hasn't come up yet, but let's just put a pin on this to see whether or not
Yeah.
something grows here.
Yeah.
So Teresa and Jackie, wait, what am I? Oh, asked Jackie why Jackie was avoiding her at the, where were they? Bless you. Anyways, but they
They were
had a
yeah,
conversation.
they were in one of the rooms. Oh,
No, no,
she
but
she was
where
talking.
were
Yeah, she was saying she was asking Jackie if she's okay because at the baseball diamond she was very quiet.
it was the baseball diamond. I was like,
Yeah,
was it the party?
I don't think Teresa noticed that Jackie was avoiding her. I think she just thought she was being quiet in general.
Right. And I mean, I would think though, if I was Teresa, like, I think she was kind of like stirring the pot there a little bit because, like, you know why? Like,
I really don't think Teresa knows why. I think she's clueless because she
about
doesn't feel like she's doing anything wrong.
that's true. That's true. That's true. So now Teresa though thinks that Margaret was talking to the blogger. So whomever has been putting out all these accounts about what Louis has done in his past and having stories coming out from his exes, all this seemingly has been funneled from the same blogger. So what do you think of Teresa's new assessment as to what's happening being that Margaret is the one that's feeding this information to this blogger, because Margaret's always the first to be up on the new tea about Louis.
Well, I think that Teresa is not wrong for suspecting that that's what's happening, but I also believe Margaret when she denies the accusation. So I think Teresa needs to let it go and move on. I mean, I do wonder why Margaret is so obsessed with Louis.
It's like, who cares? Like, at this point,
Yeah.
it doesn't have anything to do with you, really. Are you worried that he's going to steal from you? Are you worried that he's going to hit you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're worried about Teresa's well-being, having these fights with you is not great for her well-being. So
exactly.
what is your ulterior motive here? I mean, other than a ticket to the next season.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like, at some point you have to be concerned with how Teresa's feeling, right? If that's your concerned friend card that you're playing,
exactly.
like, well, this is not doing well for your friend. So
Yeah.
maybe change your tactic.
And
Or
have Margaret and Teresa ever been friends? Because I haven't
I'm
seen
not.
the previous season, so I don't know what they were like in previous seasons.
I mean, I feel like everybody just goes on like a cycle of like, we are good friends, we're not good friends, we hate each other, we're fighting, we're good, we're together, we're good now. Like we both don't like this person. Like, I think it just always cycles around. I'm not sure about their history though.
Okay.
So okay, so another thing about Jackie that kind of, it seems as though she likes being one of the housewives that like is always talking about sex with Evan. And so every episode she seems to say something about like, no, get your dick out of my back, and oh no, I'm not having sex with you right now, is what she said this episode. It's like, I think she always wants people to know that they have sex. It's quite bizarre.
I mean,
because they're not a sexual couple to me.
Like, you don't sense their chemistry, or you don't.
I wonder if it's performative. Like, is she really banging him like every second of the day? I'm not sleeping with you right now. Like, why? Like, would you normally? Like, I don't know. I'm wondering if it's just performative that they're so like open.
Yeah, sexually. I see what you're saying. But I do think they have a lot of sex.
Interesting.
I think the couples on this show are having more sex than other shows, for sure.
Well, definitely Louis and Teresa. And Melissa and Joe, I'm sure. I just don't picture Jackie. She seems like a prude to me, but she has children, so she can't be that much of a prude. So wait, what do you? You don't think she's a prude, or you're picturing her having sex?
No, neither. I'm laughing at your comment because it's hilarious.
It's true.
You're having kids.
At least this has happened a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
So Louis and Teresa are planning on getting matching cowboy hats. Like, they love the El Chismo relationship stuff.
And I love that about them.
I mean, for them, but it's so. I mean, if I did it, it would be tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, okay, we had to wear something really embarrassing and matching. Sorry, babe. Like, let's do it. You know?
Yeah.
But they're serious about it, which I'm just like, man, you guys are so tacky.
I mean, they're from New Jersey.
That's something. That is true. So Jackie tells Margaret the fact that Teresa now thinks that she's talking to the blogger. Margaret says she's fucking nuts. And I'm like, oh boy. So here we go. Jackie just like flame in the fire. And actually, she is air, and Margaret is Aries, so that makes sense. You know, she's making that fire grow. Bill shows up, so I was surprised to see Bill because he doesn't seem to participate in these activities really anymore. So he does show up, and they have a little weird kind of flirty, sexy scene where she's like kind of role playing, and she looks good, I thought, and wearing like a cowboy hat, and I don't know, they're kind of there's a new sheriff in town. I was
Yeah,
like,
like I was like, wow, they do like each other, and he does like his wife. Like he is attracted to her. And I think that was even the first time we saw them kiss.
this season, maybe.
Yeah. Like he kissed her like he meant it.
Yeah.
So I
So
thought that was nice to see. I feel like we saw both of them in a like more vibrant way in that those few minutes.
agreed. And I mean, I know that people really dislike Jen, but I'm okay with her right now.
Yeah, I like her.
Fine with her. I thought she looked really good this episode. I
Yeah.
liked her. She wasn't involved maybe in the drama. All right, so we get to what was this bar called? Nashville Underground. And so we have some hospitality heroes here. The drink special of the day is a grapefruit paloma in a big cowboy glass clear hat. I wanted to see that drink.
Oh, you did? Bill was carrying it around later.
I wasn't paying
Yeah,
attention.
when they were doing the bull riding, he was holding it. He was like, it was literally like a clear plastic, or it must have been plastic, cowboy hat with filled with liquid, like neon straws. And then there was a turned upside down bottle of probably tequila if it was a Paloma.
Yes, I mean, I thought grapefruit was redundant to say about a Paloma because,
Yes,
but Paloma is your favorite tequila cocktail, I believe.
it is. Yes, you're right. It's not just my favorite tequila cocktail. It's one of my go-tos, my top 5 for sure.
It's in my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
Salumi Bar, I think, makes a good one. I
Oh,
had a few
really?
there. I think so. I could be
Okay.
making this, or maybe they had it as a special one night, and I was like, let's
Okay.
have some Palomas. But Palomas is definitely one of my favorite tequila cocktails. When I go out to a restaurant and I'm gonna have a little bit of fun, like after having like the wine, and I switch to maybe a cocktail, I definitely am choosing a tequila cocktail all the time. And so Paloma's on my list. I'll always have a delicious margarita. A Diablo is also kind of on my list because it's spicy. And I remember when I was living in Vancouver, if I would make fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, and I'd have grapefruit tequila and grapefruit just on its own without having anything else in it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
I'm surprised you don't know about this, but mezcal and grapefruit is also very good.
I've never had it specifically, but
Yeah.
because I never have mezcal at
Well, I
home.
thought you were a
Really.
mezcal drinker. Okay.
No, I mean, I enjoy mezcal. I used to work at a restaurant and we had this mezcal and tequila cocktail. I need to actually look up the recipe because I want to, if we have like a party or something like that, like I'll bring this drink to make for everybody.
Amazing. Okay.
But it's like mezcal, tequila. There's a few other ingredients that I just can't think of right now. Might have been bitters in there, but it's such a good like drink. It's perfectly balanced. So yes,
Nice.
yes. I love
Okay.
tequila. Mezcal is a little bit more of an acquired taste, but like
Yeah.
I love like a mezcal old fashioned. Yeah, I definitely like the tequila ballpark better than all the rest. And I'm feeling like I was onto something because I was a tequila girl for so long, and now it's like what everybody drinks. I'm like, I drank tequila soda when I was going out to get turned like 15 years ago, like maybe
Yeah.
even more. When I was living in Montreal, like tequila was my go-to shot, and I'd drink tequila and beer all night on my shifts because I was
Mhm.
like, I'd be fun, but I'd also be like chill. I wouldn't be too wild and crazy because I was
Yeah.
drinking the beer, but like always shots of tequila. And so now with like, Kendall Jenner having her own tequila brand and like all these celebrities that are in on tequila and everybody's go-to drink now is tequila soda. I was like, I was ahead of the curve here. Like
Yeah. Fair.
I was a tequila girl before
Yeah.
it was cool. Anyways, and people are like always like vodka, vodka, vodka. I was like, no, it's tequila,
Yeah.
guys. Yes. So I wish I'd seen that now though. Now I'm so sad that I missed seeing him with that damn drink. But
It's
they
worth
do.
going back for, actually.
I'm gonna put it on. Do I have my remote here? If I had the remote here, I'd put it on right now, but I don't have it with me. Love that though, because I'd order that drink 100%. Would you have ordered
Yeah.
it?
I
Even
mean,
in
I'm
the
not
clear hat?
Yeah, probably if I was with a group, sure. In a
So
non-COVID world, yeah.
they do some like call out food orders. So a couple of orders of wings. There's a hot chicken sandwich, I think, a brisket sandwich,
Ribs.
pulled pork. Pardon?
Somebody had ribs.
Ribs. Oh, that's what I couldn't read my handwriting. Ribs, and now though the one thing that I don't necessarily like is that I'm watching Jackie for all of her food habits, and I don't know if like I feel a little bit uncomfortable about that because I'm just kind of like, ooh, what is she gonna eat? And I don't know if I like that being something that I'm looking out for, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I know what you mean. And I kind of wish that they would hold up her storyline by having her talk about how she feels at those group dinners.
well, she said she'll have a bite of his pulled pork. They make a sexual innuendo, and then she orders a salad.
Yeah, okay, I missed that.
Um, but yeah, he's like, well, it's like, I'll take your pulled pork. And she's like, oh, really? And I was just like, "Wow." Like, stop it. And then she ordered a salad. I'm like, I would definitely not be ordering a salad at that type of place.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just picture like that really white iceberg lettuce and like
Yeah.
not not a good salad. But who knows? So Melissa takes off her hoops because she's a Jersey girl to go and ride the
Love the
bull. So
boom.
it was fun seeing everybody ride the bull. So Melissa does it. She flies off. Jackie flies off pretty quickly. Teresa goes on. She flies off as well. And then the guys kind of have some sort of competition. So Bill goes on it. I love the fact that Bill's getting into this. So he does it
Yeah.
for 4 seconds, 4:37. Frank does it for 6 seconds and 34 milliseconds. Louis does it for 5:38. Evan doesn't go. I was like, okay, so you don't do that
Yes.
bull, but like you're this sexual guy, right? I'm like, I don't believe you guys. Then Joe, of course, does it for 12 seconds and 11 milliseconds. And then Tiki Barber goes and steals the spotlight and does it for 14:87. So I think it's hilarious that Tiki's beating all the guys. And this is where I was like, I don't know. I feel like Joe was gonna take not offense. Like I just think that it might become a storyline that like they're always competing in things.
I hope not, because that would be boring.
It would be kind of fun if Tiki just like didn't care and always won.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Like
that's
he didn't get into it, but like Joe's like, okay, we gotta do this, and he's like, okay, and he
yeah.
goes and just like beats him without having a care. It's fun a little bit.
So the best moment of all of that for me was Jennifer saying, "I'd ride Tiki any day." Or what did she say?
Yeah, she's like,
It
oh
was
my,
so good.
he's a good looking man. And, I mean, he is a very attractive man.
I mean, yeah.
They ordered some green tea shots. Have you ever had one of those before?
No, what is that?
I believe it is whiskey, peach schnapps, and maybe some like lemon, like some
Oh,
citrus.
that sounds
I've
good.
had it before. It tastes kind of like an Arizona tea. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like a flavory, like a not tea, but like
Yeah.
one of those
Iced
teas.
tea.
Yeah, like an iced tea, but like a flavored iced tea.
Okay.
It's okay. They're not bad. So at one point, though, Margaret, they're all at the table, and Margaret's like, "Oh, I don't know anybody here." And Teresa chirps in, "It's like you know everybody, Margaret." And she's just like, "What?" Teresa was on one, and she was just ready to give it. And Margaret's like, "I'm not contacting bloggers." And then you're a disgusting liar. Teresa throws like drinks and table stuff all onto Margaret, who is wearing a white dress. And then the words such as, "You're lucky you're still not on parole." I was like, Margaret, that might have been a bit far because Teresa's like leaving. The bouncers are kind of ushering her out. "You're lucky you're not on parole." And she's like,
Are those the bouncers or was that I think it was the
"Oh,
producers.
either."
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess it was the producers because it wouldn't be a great look to have the bouncers like throw
exactly.
Teresa's out. So yes, it could have been the producer stepping in. Fuck you, you fucking whore. You disgusting white trash bitch. I was like, oh my God, these people are vile. Um, so wait, you better get that bitch out of my face. I'm like, Teresa is like
Yeah, she was
so
really on
mad.
another level. Yeah, she wouldn't stop.
She wouldn't stop. And like we mentioned earlier, like I thought it was hilarious though. The people, like the other
Watching.
patrons, were just like they're like trying not to watch, but they're just like, like
Yeah.
so funny. They're just not. They're trying to watch what was going down without making it obvious that they were, watching this very big scene that's happening. So Joe and Teresa and Melissa go downstairs to another floor. They decide to have a shot. I'm like, why would you be giving someone that's this amped up some more alcohol? Like, it's definitely not a good mix right now for how angry they are. Like, I would not be giving them alcohol. So poor Margaret, though, in her white dress, all covered in like juice and maybe red wine, and they still decide to sit down and continue eating, which I was surprised by. What did you think about that? I would want to go home and change, I would think.
Um, yeah, I think so, but I think it was also an opportunity I think they realized that it was better that they weren't all in the house at the same time. And like, yeah, I feel like they needed, like, the two separate groups needed to process a little bit separately and, bring the level down a little bit. And I think the only way was for one group to leave the venue and one group to stay or go somewhere else, and I mean, I think there was like that moment when Dolores was like, well, I came with her, I'm leaving with her, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, and then Frank says it's like,
Yeah.
no, we're the hosts here. So she's like, you're right, you're right. So
Yeah.
she does have to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think it was good that Dolores stayed because I mean, I think it just kept things balanced a bit.
I agree.
I think it was good that Dolores stayed in the end.
I agree.
Melissa is trying to calm down Teresa downstairs. And then Margaret's calling Teresa. She's a thug. She's an animal. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Then we see Teresa starting to run up the stairs, and Melissa's trying to catch her. And what was I saying? You're not beating anybody. Well, anyways, no matter what, there's like, oh yeah, Margaret's like, oh, was she the mob? Like, was she threatening people? Like,
Right.
she's not going to be beating anybody down, which is, I think, is true. I don't think that Teresa is going to actually beat anybody down. I like the fact that Margaret's not scared of Teresa. I don't think I'd be scared of Teresa either, but
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
But like, I just have never really had anybody coming at me like that. It'd be kind of shocking.
Yeah, me neither.
Very shocking. So Teresa decides to actually leave. Jen and Bill leave with them. Melissa and Joe leave with Teresa, and she's like, I don't want to be in a fight with my sister-in-law. So understood why Melissa was leaving. And Teresa is done with Margaret. She thinks that she's disgusting and vile. And she wanted to take the whole table and smack her in the face. I was like, she's angry.
That's not unlike her.
So one thing though, that at the end, so they all sit down and still eat, like the other half, so like Jackie and Evan and Margaret and Tiki and Tracy and the other Joe.
Yeah.
Dolores, sorry, and Frank. And so they all still stayed at the restaurant. And oh shit, I just lost my train of thought. Margaret said, oh, I don't know. It's gone. But Tracy is mortified about the situation. And I don't know if that's the best way to handle it, being like, I can't believe I'm mortified that could happen. Like, I just don't know if that's the best way to diffuse a situation. And I guess maybe it's because I just don't appreciate Tracy at all. But I was just like, I don't know if you should be saying that, because I think that it's bringing her into it. Because I can see Margaret being like, Tracy thinks that was mortified of what you did, and like bring her in that way. So I don't know. I don't know how to diffuse that situation, but I don't know if that was the right way for Tracy too.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing though, that Dolores was the voice of reason here, and she's just kind of like, Margaret, she's not listening to you. She's not, whatever you're
Yeah,
saying about Teresa, she's not receiving it. So stop saying it. Oh,
yeah,
that's what I was going to say before. Is that Margaret, or is that Margaret was saying that there must be some truth about what Margaret is saying in order for Teresa to be acting that way. So before we close off this pod today, what do you think about that assessment, that there must be something going on with the relationship if Margaret's going to act that way, if Teresa's going to act that way?
I mean, I think that, if it was the first time and she got this activated the first time, I think that would be a fair assessment, but it's not the first time. And I think, previous times, Teresa has quite calmly said, Joe doesn't need to explain anything to anyone. And
Louis,
it has not been, Margaret hasn't received that. And she keeps poking Teresa. And so anyone would lose their shit, you know?
agreed. So, I mean, I could understand that maybe there is something that Teresa is subconsciously wary about, and she wants Margaret to stop poking this bear. But
Mhm.
Margaret just needs to just let her live her life. It's kind of like teenagers, right? You can't
Yeah.
corral a teenager and get them to do what you want them to do. They have to live their life and learn their own lessons. And
Yeah.
so just let Teresa learn her own lessons. Dolores said Teresa's a grown woman. She can handle herself. Like, this is what she wants to do with her life. Let her do it. And I was agreeing with Dolores here.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
it was fun talking about this episode with you. We will be back again next week to talk about the next one, to see what the fallout is about this fight between Margaret and Teresa. Do you have anything going on that you'd like the people to follow you on right at this moment?
No, not this week.
All right. Well, you guys know the drill, but just make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment as to whose side you on. Are you team Margaret or team Teresa in this whole fight? So see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.